to our podcast. My name is Hansel. I'm here with my best buddy, Wayne. We wrote a book, which, like this podcast, is also called theCoderBros. Go to White Castle. Head to Amazon to find it. It's a book about our story, how we grew up Asian, how we became best friends, and how we found our White Castle. Only our metaphorical destination wasn't a fast food place, but an awesome little business called the Coder School that we now run together. So we started this podcast to explore the stories of other Asian Americans like us and how they found their own White Castle. I'm super excited today because we have somebody that's kind of different than what we've known in the past. Wayne, who do we have today?
Yeah, our guest today is going to make for a very special and magical episode, and that's a little bit of a hint. He grew up in San Francisco's Richmond district, made his start at the tech giant PayPal, but only after 13 months later transitioned to becoming a magician. Yeah, you heard me right. He is a magician, and an amazing one at that. I'll tell you a little bit of what we've seen. But I can't wait to hear all about how he became one and life as a magician. So please welcome Dan Chan.
Thank you for having me.
Dan, man, thanks for having me on. I mean, a magician that's like the farthest thing an Asian parent would think about. But that's so awesome that you became one. But start us off, Dan. Tell us about your story of what you're doing now and what makes that your White Castle.
Yeah, I love making people freak out just to see people just react. I go into like airports sometimes, like when I'm traveling, and I'm just doing magic for people for free. Sometimes gets you some upgrades, free ice cream.
That would be so fun.
To get your upgrades, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You just make people smile. Last time I did it, got a $40 tip in the airport, and I'm not soliciting or anything. I'm just trying to make
you don't have the hat out and all of that.
Nope. No. That's not Asian, man. Not Asian, right?
Yeah, that is
cannot
not
street
Asian.
perform.
That is so true. Like, even if you're Asian and you need it, you don't want to put the hat out.
Yeah. You can't ask for it, but if somebody gives you a hong bao, you got to take it, right?
Yeah. I started as a street performer, and even when I brought my son out to street perform, my mother-in-law would be like, No. Why are you posting photos of that? I'm like, dude, this is a training ground before you get there. All the magicians and guys I look up to have done street. So it's just part of the street culture. The entertainment mindset is like, if they will pay you, and you don't have to beg, you just have to over deliver. I actually performed for Mark Rober out in Palo Alto. Like, I think it was Salt and Straw. I was just street performing. My son sees him out in line. I'm like, let me do it. And I got like the best testimonial from him.
And so Mark Rober is a really famous influencer, right? That's what's his channel?
Glitter Bomb, and then the Tesla that drives straight through the wall.
The
Wile E. Coyote.
Okay, yeah.
You just did that one.
No, that's awesome.
Cool, that's awesome. So give us a sense of like how magician are you? Like you mentioned, like, for example, how many shows do you do per year?
Back in the day, I was like doing probably 350, maybe even more shows per year. And
man,
like a good Saturday.
For the Asians out there with the math, right, that's like a show a day, more than it could be more than a show a day.
Yeah. I usually do like 3 on Saturday and
the math didn't add up, because I was just thinking 1 a day is the only thing that's possible. But obviously,
you're doing 3 a day on the weekends, okay?
Okay, so. Damn. One Halloween, I got so burnt out. I did 6 shows in the day. The first show started at 10 a.m. The last show started at a nightclub at like midnight. And
oh man,
I had a driver, and I should have kept him for the whole thing. I think for the he drove me to 4 of the shows, and then I think I dropped him off. And I like a whole month later, I was still aching. Like my whole brain felt like it was fried.
I don't know how do you even keep track? Like at night, you're probably doing like adult tricks, but in the day, you're doing like kids tricks. I mean, what if you mix it up? That'd be a little embarrassing.
No, I do. Different tricks, but I wouldn't be as good. Like, I want to show up to 100%. By the last show of the day, I was just doing it for the money. I was like, at 50%, you're just grinding through, and you feel like you hype up your energy, but you drain so much from you. Your whole soul feels like it's gone.
Oh man, wow! I guess you got to put your all into it when you're in the entertainment business.
But you do it and you fake it when you're up there. And when the pandemic hit, I've done over like 700 shows. I think it was December 17th of 2020. I did 12 shows in a day, 8 shows back to back on the half an hour, I think. And this was like on Zoom, and it was the 12 show a day was easier than my 6-show live thing because I could nap, I could eat, I was resetting. I had a backdrop right behind me, so you couldn't tell this was my kitchen. I did the shows in the same spot, but it was like a theatrical $1,200 backdrop.
That's insane. So you said that. You said that at the max you were going like 300 and some per year. So have you backed off now and you have people running it for you, or what's changed?
I realized my worth because like I didn't realize certain people, like someone close to me said I wouldn't pay you $1 or a penny to see you perform, and that made me undervalue myself. So I would always like do this Costco approach, wholesale, like, be a little bit cheaper, good and cheap. But then there was one magician I looked up to, and he was like, dude, why are you being the Walmart of magic? Because he'd always see me take the gigs. And like, there'd be a little bit of jealousy. People were like, oh, you'd be the first to do it. But, a lot of times people are price sensitive. So I just said, what would it be if I was like the Rolex or Petit Philippe or
Absolutely.
Premium?
Absolutely.
And then I just started, when that mindset, I started going into like watch stores and just studying premium brands. And I was like, it's not much different. It's just slowing down. And it's a story that you tell behind it. So I started doing parties for like billionaires because I started doing one tech magic and then mind reading, because for every one mind reader, there's probably like 10 or 100 magicians. So when I started going by the Millionaires Mentalist, that started getting me like 5K gigs in Idaho and Washington, D.C. and other.
So tell us about that. How do you get that first one, right? Because that first one's always the hardest. Once you have it on your resume, you can say, hey, I already did one. But how do you get those?
In the beginning, it was just being cheaper, I guess. And then you have experience, and then you have confidence, and then you have these videos of you performing and people freaking out. Once you have the social proof of like what you saw earlier when I showed you, people are like, is a Zoom show really good? And they don't think that magic translate, but obviously you saw that it worked.
Yeah, and just for our audience, Dan did a trip that just blew our minds right before getting on here. And sorry, this is audio, so we, couldn't show it to you, but it was literally bringing in a lot of different media, like Instagram, and I don't know how you freaking did it, honestly, but especially when you just went back, like look at your picture and his eyes changed. I seriously was mind blown. So if you say that you do love it when you blow,
I don't think anybody's following that, but it was amazing. I mean, what you
insane.
did. But
if you work at a tech company, call me for a free demo. Bring on HR, support Asian entertainment, because a lot of people don't, like a lot of people have bought their houses and all this stuff, but we don't have Asian entertainment because everyone's, we have a mindset. But once you've got that house paid off and the car's paid off, support the arts, man. It's not just the museum that you're going to throw money at. Let your kids see someone who can be inspirational. We don't need another coder.
Zuckerberg. We need lots of coders.
Lots of coders.
We're
Doctors and lawyers. Get rid of them.
So do some name dropping, Dan. What are some of the big names that you've done shows for?
Yeah, Timothy Ferris, he hired me 4 times, once on a World War II ship where he introduced me to Joshua Watkins, who was I think he was the subject of like Searching for Bobby Fischer or something like that, or he was a real life guy. Paul Abdul, Draymond Green's kid's first birthday party, Yao Ming, Christy Yamaguchi.
Yao Ming, did he try to talk to you in Chinese and you're like, I don't really speak
Cantonese? Cantonese.
I did one trick for him, and I was totally afraid because he's so much taller, and there's one trick where something happens, and it's not good if the guy's taller. And I don't remember if I had got him to sit down. It still fooled him, but I had to really, really watch my angles because something happens that
he can like look just straight down and see everything, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Wow, so you've done this for a lot of different people, the celebs and stuff. Have you ever sort of like messed up? I mean, you talk about how it went with Yao Ming, but have you done something like, oh crap, you're not supposed to see that?
Like, oh crap, coin just fell out of my hand.
I have. I mean, like there are certain times you mess up, but you just move on and you know kind of like what messes up, and then you get rid of those tricks or get rid of those things, or you practice more. So you kind of like, I used to work at restaurants a lot, and I would do all my new material at restaurants or low pressure situation, or I would be like,
Smart.
I would prove my worth. And once I knew that I didn't have to impress them anymore, I would throw in a new trick and say, hey, I'm working on something. Will you guys watch it? Or I'll go to a mall. Because I don't want to feel like, oh, like sometimes people are paying me $1,000 for an hour for entertainment. I'm like,
right.
And you don't want to F up there, but you also don't want to
Yeah.
street perform all the time. So you just say, hey, I'm working on something new. Can I get a little bit of feedback? And you just go to that corner and show that to one extra person. When you're done with your hour, you just do a little bit extra. Right?
Oh man! Wow. So it's a whole process. So how, is this? It sounds like you come up. Are all your tricks like sort of original that you think of, or do you sort of copy some and kind of tweak them?
I'm Asian. I used to copy, but then the real mindset is being
Yep.
original.
Love it.
You know, like when we're Asian, you can, if you're copying someone, you're only going to get silver, or you're only going to get what they don't want to take. Like they'll be like, oh, I can't get the original, let me get the knockoff. So once I started changing that mindset, I was charging above and beyond because I wasn't copying them anymore. And I want to go into companies and talk to them about the creative process, about little things I tweaked in order to change. And then also, the secret of success is focus. And the secret of focus is saying no. I used to say yes to everything. And my friend said, you can't be the, $250 magician and be the $5,000 magician at the same time. So
that is true.
Now I franchise things out. I sell the rights to certain tricks. And I also book out entertainment. So if someone can't book me, I'll give them an option or a standby rate. I don't guarantee myself. Like, for example, if they hit a certain price point, I'll be like, someone from my team will do it. I'll guarantee they're good. And if I know them, I'll try to upgrade them. Like if you guys were to call me.
Do you have like your own company then? Are they your staff? Or you're just, so when you farm it out, how does that work? I mean, is your company getting paid and then you just pay them?
I take a deposit, and then it's usually maybe like a 20% deposit. And then I'll guarantee someone will be at the event. And I'll take the event, and then sometimes I'll do it. No, so I see these shows all live. I go to the Magic Garage. I go to live shows, and I know like 50 or 60 magicians in the Bay Area. So it's very easy for me to just say, hey, I got a bigger gig. I need you to cover it. And as long as I have someone backing it up, it's called leverage. I just keep on stacking it. Like, book a gig, send it off, and keep on charging more as the demand gets more.
That's awesome. And by this point, do you need to do much marketing, or is it all just kind of inbound? Do people just find you?
This is the marketing I like doing, is getting to know people. If they know you do magic, they're just going to refer you eventually to their friends. I run YouTube ads, and YouTube ads are usually only 2 or 3 cents per view, but I'm targeting people who are in event planning. I used to make the mistake of targeting magicians, so all the magicians know who the hell I am, but magicians don't want to pay me.
Yeah, they're like, I can
copy
damn tricks, Dan. But yeah, no, I mean, this is great marketing, because now, I mean, just even after experiencing that one trick, I'm like, I was already thinking, I want you for my daughter's birthday party or something, but I probably can't afford you,
Dan,
because
Wayne.
you're the Rolex now. I probably have to ask you for the people that are the Walmarts or something, but
I have
we get a special
standby
rate for being a guest.
Friends and family, and also a standby rate. So if sometimes like you might book my son or book me, and if something happens, you know that you're okay with getting my son. Like if some guy like Elon or like some tech founder calls me, I'll have to take that gig. But the next year,
yeah, you would.
A fun story, I used to work with Elon. In 2022, I performed for him again, and we ended up having him sign a card, which I think I might show it to you at the end of this, and we'll record it, and then you can post it onto your YouTube channel. So I had him sign the card, and I've got a whole stack of signed cards right here. Like this one is from
deck of cards, yeah.
Chef Nobu.
There you go.
Yeah.
Love that.
This is like your memorabilia from doing a trick with them, and they signed it.
Yep. Dominique Anzo.
And
inventor.
so how much are some of these worth? Like the Elon Musk, would you think you could like eBay that thing?
I'll tell you in a
Probably.
second.
Ronnie Lott? Dude,
Ooh,
Ronnie Lott,
Ronnie
man.
Lott. Love that
Somebody
guy.
buy that in the
Yeah.
Flanders area. Who's that? Eric Yuan. Oh, you see the Zoom guy?
The founder of Zoom, and we're on Zoom right now, right?
Zoom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on, man.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Elon's
that's a
card-
side bonus. Yeah.
Went for a little less than 5K. I'm going to show you the link.
Oh, wait a minute. So you sold it?
Yep.
I would. I
That's
mean,
awesome.
who would hang on to the 5K?
So
okay.
also, like,
Okay.
so you can see that auction, and it says the bidder price. So it was like 3,000 something, and then they take 20% from you, and they mark it up 25%. So it's like if you do the math, it's like not that great, but at least it's a cool story.
And so I'm assuming that sold a while ago because I don't know if he has the best name in the market right now. But
It might even be worth more now.
But
Now that
you never know.
talking,
It could be
someone,
worth more.
someone major fan, it would be worth more now, right?
yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good point. That's insane, though. Why? Like, who is paying that much money for a playing card with a signature on it? Like, what are they going to do with that? That's insane, man.
I want to see it come back up on auction again, and it's actually like from the PayPal cards. So if it ever sells again, I would know, and
Oh,
I
right.
bet you it's going to be double or triple.
Yeah, all of a sudden it's like 25K. And then if
I
you die
told
in
my
some kind of a
kids-
terrible accident, then it goes even way crazier, right? It's just like, it's kind of weird, the whole collectors thing, I think.
I
don't
told
really
my
get it.
kids it was going to be worth a lot, and they didn't believe me. They were like, they probably thought it was 100, 200. I'm like, no. I was telling them, if anything happens to me, this is probably one of the most expensive, things that's going to be worth a lot.
Your inheritance, dude.
This is your inheritance, this card right here, Ace of Spades.
They didn't believe it, so I cashed out.
That's
would.
funny. Wow.
5K
So-
is 5K.
So you do a lot of sort of close-up magic, is that right? I don't know, but I'm just guessing as sort of a fan of magic. There's like different factions, right? There's like the close-up stuff, but then there's also like David Copperfield style, where you're these big rigs.
Big
and stuff.
illusionist, right?
Well, you saw my big illusion in my right there when the trick-or-treaters come. I have a big illusion. It's like
So you do both.
700 pounds.
Whoa. So what I was going to ask you is like, so the close-up stuff is pretty straightforward. You could, I don't know, buy a deck of cards or whatever and mark it up and sort of do whatever you need. But when you're buying a 700-pound machine, like, are you getting it prototyped in China, or it's not like from Walmart or Amazon? Like, you got to have it special built, right? How do you come up with those things?
Yeah. Copperfield has one of these, and a couple other pretty famous
Really?
people. Yeah, the guy who built Copperfield's built mine. So
Really? So
Whoa.
you have it's like a magic maker, somebody who makes all the equipment.
there's like maybe 10 major illusion builders in the world that are reputable. So you just find those guys, and you know who the names are because you're in the industry long enough. So you know who does what, and you just have to
wow.
end up paying for it. So the reason why I got that illusion was during the pandemic, I was making bank, and I'm like, I'm going to do these illusions. And I bought it a little too late, and ended up like didn't use as much. So right when you guys asked me to jump on the podcast, so to describe the illusion, you can see it on my Instagram page. There's this box, and I just start to materialize, and there's no camera tricks, and I just appear slowly, and that's pretty much the illusion. But it's very hard to describe, I guess, like, because it's so much more impactful when you're seeing it happen, and you're like thinking, is that really a no camera trick? Honestly, no camera tricks.
Right.
I think that's the hard part, right? These days, there's so much AI and whatever. People just assume it's all a camera trick. You just ask some, Photoshop thing to do it. So that probably makes it harder. But if I saw it live, I'm sure I would be flipping out, knowing it's not a camera trick.
Yeah, I want to put that in a venue and have investors and like do it live, make the.
So, does
birthday
your
cake.
machine cost as much as David Copperfield's? Like, did you both buy? Like, it's
Yeah,
at the
the
same
secret
level, or
discount.
is his like $8 million, and ours is, the one that you have is
Mine
a
is
lot.
portable. I think his is built in. What I was told was his is built into his island, like it's physically in the room. so you
Okay,
can't-
okay.
I mean,
Buying
like
it at a
okay.
higher price right there. Installation is like 40 million.
mine was shipped, so I had to build it myself afterwards, and I had to bring in a friend. So it was kind of weird
Dang.
building it. And I'm not sure how much his cost because they're not allowed to really talk about stuff. But
Yeah.
So these are like pre-built sort of tricks. So you got to
No, custom built. It was custom built. You saw that? It said Millionaires Mentalist. It says Time Machine. So like he's getting better every single time he builds it. So
they're all custom built. Like you have to tell him like this is the spec I want. And so, but is it all based? So I'm just trying to think like if you're trying to do a new trick, do you say, hey, I want to do a new thing that's based on the Time Machine thing, but I want it this little bit tweak, and can you make that custom for me? Is that how that works?
Yeah, like I did the branding and logo. I had no vision on that. I just knew that it was done before. So I was like, I want this to be done. But I do have original tricks. Like I invented some mentalism or mind reading things. I invented some magics things. And it's like playing a cover band. Like when you show up to a party, you want to hear some music. They don't care how original you are. So you have to not worry about like there's this thing called ugly baby syndrome people talk about. Like when you create it, you think it looks great. Like a lot of the stuff I invent, if you're not an inventor,
awesome. Right,
it's gonna look crummy. But you do that for yourself, and you hopefully one day end up building something that's really, really cool. But I have like 3 or 4 things that I invented that are really cool that eventually I'm gonna put on the market and say like these are $20 tutorials.
Okay.
Smart.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So the last thing I'm going to ask before we get into sort of your Asian side. So I want to hear your take on sort of the internet and how that's changed things. I'm sure if I went online, I could look up like, I don't know, how does the time machine thing work? And somebody would probably have posted like how it actually works, right? Or I don't know. Is there some
ChatGPT would be just like step 1, you do this, and then
go look it up. Ask how does the time machine work, and you'll actually find out that's not the name of the trick. That's just a red herring because it's not actually a time machine. I put that thing as a red herring. So like a lot of things when I go to perform, I don't tell you the name of the trick. I make up a new name of the trick.
Or the internet doesn't mess you up then. Like people can't just figure it out. Like
they might describe, there's certain tricks that you can describe it, right? You can make like, how does this trick work? And you describe it and you might come there. But honestly, like I'm still not hurting when a kid knows how it works because there's always a new kid. There's always someone who likes magic, who wants to be fooled. You'll probably think about some of the tricks I'm doing for 10 years and still not figure it out because I had a lady, she said, I saw you at this party. It was a Tim Ferriss party 8 years ago. She pulls out her She pulls out the signed card and she said, "You did this trick," and she showed it to me. I'm like, shoot, that's a lot of emotion, a lot of baggage for you to carry that card that's folded and forced every day. And she doesn't know she's going to meet me again. She just had it with her, and I've had people have that card.
That's amazing.
Well, she's waiting for the value of that to go up to 5K, and then she's going to dump it.
Maybe I don't think to her she's going to sell it.
Yeah, but that's amazing, though. So I get it now. I mean, when you say you like to see the reaction on people's faces, and that's why you're a magician. I mean, something like that, 8 years later, I mean, that's some impact that you really had on that lady. That's really amazing, man.
I just did a party where the guy was, I think, 7 years, like really young, and people said, "Oh, I saw you at my kid's, my brother's 7th birthday party," and now the guy's a sheriff in San Francisco. Another guy was like, I had you at my kid's birthday party, and now the kid's graduating, and he's like 19. So I'm like coming full circle because I have loyal fans who end up hiring me, 5, 10, 20 years later. And
even me. I mean, we were talking how my own daughter had you come by like 2008. It's like 16 years ago. That's pretty amazing.
And now, as soon as we're done with this, Hansel and I are going to spend the next 5 years trying to figure out what you just did to us before the podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
You're like, how did he do that?
That's right. So let's talk about your Asian background, man. Dan Chan. You said that Chan is Chinese last name, Cantonese.
Cantonese.
So tell us a bit about this. This is very non-Asian, right? I mean, usually you got the doctor, engineer, lawyer, those guys. But you're like, hey, mom, I'm going to be, a magician. Tell us, like, when did you figure out you wanted to be one? Yeah. And then what was the process like getting out of PayPal and actually becoming one?
Yeah. Because not one Asian parent that I could name is like, my dream is my kid to become a magician. That's always doctor, lawyer. So that had
my dream is for my son to be like as famous as Copperfield.
There you go, except for you.
I mean, like the guy's a billionaire, right? And he owns his own island. outbeats anyone except for maybe a Zuckerberg or like the Google
mindset would
founders.
be, but that's not going to happen because you're Chinese and you have to play the odds. Like there's millions of doctors. There's one that made it like that. So.
But the fact is, there's hundreds of doctors out there who's gonna end up hiring a Chinese magician because they're Chinese, end up doing it once in their lifetime at least. Even if they're cheap doctors, they're gonna still end up spending like $1,000 to $5,000 for an hour's worth of entertainment. Think of how many
Love it.
tens of thousands of really rich Asian people out there who will want to support me. Dude,
Yeah, 100%.
if there's even 3 or 4 more Asian magicians, we couldn't take that demand.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
No, I love it. I mean, because we were talking earlier. You found your White Castle, you found your happy place because that's what you wanted to do. Meanwhile, a lot of the people who are trying to get their, get promoted or get to be engineer, whatever, they're just out there going for the money. You got the life you want. So tell us how you got there. What's the background behind it?
Yeah, there was a magic shop on 9th and Irving. Joe from Misdirections Magic Shop, he would have these lecture series. He has them a lot less now. I think it was like Eric Anderson or Eugene Berger. Eugene Berger, I think, passed a while ago. And it just, when I found out that you could buy a trick and then learn how to do it, that's like your crutch.
So you grew up in San Francisco, it sounds like. And so how young were you when you were going into this shop on Irving 9th?
After I came back from college, or during the summer months, I came back and I started going there, and then I found out
until college.
Yeah.
So you didn't get into it. Okay, cool.
I had 1 or 2 books. I could do what's called a one-handed cut, like this thing here. I could do this, I think.
Okay.
Or a version of this.
Yeah.
Chicks dig that.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Pick up chicks with it.
And I would be like, we'd play at Lowell. I went to Lowell class in 1995, and we would just kind of like play Chod ID or a Big Two.
Oh, so I remember that. I've played that a lot.
Yeah. And then I don't remember, like we'd pretend to cheat each other and stuff, and we didn't play for money or anything, but we just like try to try to second deal or try to do something. And I wasn't very good at it. But when I started finding out that people were making money doing this, I'm like, these bad magician and clowns are making like $200 in an hour. I'm like, I could do that. And then I found out the guys who are really good, when I found out like some of them were, this was 20 years ago I'd be like, this guy's charging $12.50 for an evening. I'm like, $12.50.
Yeah.
I could do that. I could see myself there in 10 years. I could see myself getting there in 20 years.
So when you started, it was a little bit more, you had to do the math to make sure that the money kind of, mathed out before you decided to do it.
Yeah. The Asian side still had
there
to
you
work.
go. You're still Chinese.
So I did the math. I was like, if I can do 4 shows at $250, then I'm going to make $52,000 a year. And I knew that was easy to do. And I was like, if I did really good, I can make $100,000 in a couple of years by doing 8 shows, because I wasn't doing corporate and I didn't know how to break into the corporate market. I just knew there was kids' birthday parties all the time and no one wanted to do those. In fact, if anyone wants an internship, or you have a kid who's already into magic and can do a little bit and they can drive and they don't mind working with kids, I'll teach them how to juggle. I'll teach them basic magic tricks, and they'll be making $200 an hour.
I guess. Okay.
Whoever wants to come, I don't discriminate.
That's right. Magic does not discriminate.
So tell us about your first show. So you said this was back in college. You noticed this magic shop. So when did you actually decide, hey, I'm going to go for it and do my first show?
I think I did. I might have been a clown because I remember Penn and Teller saying that he went to clown school. So I went to a clown conservatory. And this was when I was kind of starting off, when things weren't picking up. And I lived at home. So for me, nice. My parents are Asian and they didn't kick me out. So I was very fortunate.
There you go.
I had a runway. My career could take off, and I'd go to Vegas 2 times a year. I'd go to World Magic seminars and other magic conventions. And the money I saved living at home frugally allowed me to buy insane amount of magic DVDs and books and all these things that are required to build your education. But I would put back a huge percentage back into learning. And I wish I had the mentors of one-on-one teaching that I later found out one-on-one was a lot better than these books and DVDs, but the price difference was huge because if you want a one-on-one with someone, it's like $250 an hour, and I was making $250 an hour, but it would be easier to buy like a $30 DVD or VHS tape.
Right.
You know,
So after you graduated, basically you're hanging with your parents, but you have all that time and money to be able to learn all the magic. What did your parents think at the time? They're like, "Dan, what the balls are you doing?"
Get a real job.
To get a real job, or we're going to kick you out. You would think that they would be like, "Okay, you're welcome as long as you're an engineer. You can stay at home." But
well, I didn't ask them for money, and they saw that I was making money, so they just wanted me to be happy. And
nice.
For Asian parents listening to that, ask your kids to study the best in that field. Like there's this girl who's made the emoji, and I run into her at Airbnb and like at the parties. And then there's other musicians who are still doing it as a side hustle. But if you don't give it at least a chance, you can be a DJ once a month. You can be a musician, but if you don't invest in it, you're not going to be good. If you don't invest in yourself, like for me, buying the books and DVDs and all this stuff, my mom would always say, "Oh, you're buying another one? You're buying another one?" But now I can say with the fact that I'm one of the best at close-up magic and even stage magic because I know what's all the different methods, I know all the different alternatives, and I can confidently tell people, yeah, I am one of the best in the world at what I do. And people can hire a local DC magician or Idaho magician or Chicago magician, but they flew me somewhere. So that means that to them, they see something that they can't find locally.
Yeah. It means you invested in yourself and you made it. So that's pretty amazing. So you started doing that out of college, but then somewhere along the line, you ended up working at PayPal right around when X.com, I guess, merged in with PayPal. How did that happen?
I was just searching for jobs, something steady to do. And I knew it was taking off because they had these referral fees, and it was the most buzzed about company back then. It was like the hottest company before the crashes and everything. It was 1999. And
so right before it, it's total hot.
But you could see the referral fee. I was like, send this to, if I sent you a referral fee or sent you an email, you would get $5 and I would get $5 in my PayPal account. And so the viral growth mechanism was they had a ton of money to grow in terms of advertising, and everyone was creating these PayPal accounts and telling their friends about it. And I knew that it was going to be big. And we all know about IPOs and stuff. So I knew
did you ever think, though, when you started doing that, did you ever think, hey, this might be it, and I'm just going to end up being in corporate, and then there goes the magic? Or did you think that, hey, no matter what, I'm going to get back to the magic?
I did it as a side hustle, but I hated my job. I'd be like emptying out the vending machines and playing ping pong and playing video games. Like they did that. You'd have that, but I was faking it.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
But I had imposter syndrome there. Like I was afraid like someone would catch me out, like because I think I was done with my work by like 2:00 and everyone else was still working. So I was just like I was surfing the web or just doing some stuff. It just didn't feel right. And then I'd sometimes stay until 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. and then until dinner came because they would feed everyone. And I would see these guys like, we invented the CAPTCHA, not me, but the guys in the office with me, like the PayPal Mafia. Like we had Reid Hoffman from LinkedIn, YouTube, Steve Chen and Jarwid. I'm probably butchering his name. We've had the founder of Slide, founder of Ancestry.com, all from PayPal. And I was in the same office. The one thing that well, we'll say that for later because you had some life advice that you wanted me to talk about, right?
Yeah. Well, sweet. Well, I mean, I guess part of the advice is to get out of something like PayPal, which you're not interested in, and do the magician thing because that is like who you are. That's what makes you happy. That's that's what life is all about. That's awesome. So take us then. So then you started doing a lot of magic, and then you met your wife somewhere along the way, who is also in the entertainment business. So tell us a bit about what she does.
Yeah, my wife Catherine, or Kat, she worked at Sharper Image, selling those ionic breezes and the air purifiers, as well as the massage chairs.
I go in there and I sit in a massage chair, for free, of course. It's awesome.
I would get these $200 massage chairs for my wife, or 99 sometimes when they were like employee sales and stuff.
Oh,
and
nice.
I told her to quit her job and be a balloon artist, and she ended up becoming way better at balloons. And I started focusing on magic and juggling, and then finally only magic, and then more mentalism. But the secret of success is focus, and the secret of focus is saying no. And I'm so glad she became so good at balloons, because that forced me into retirement. Then it got me so much better as a magician.
Nice. The other thing that's really interesting to me is the whole, both magician and balloon maker, it's all about, it's an entertainment is what it is, right? So it's all about how do you relate to somebody and how do you sort of talk to somebody, which as Asians, Wayne and I can attest, we suck at, we're engineers, right? We can add math, but we can't talk to people.
Right.
But that's amazing though. That's what your whole life is focused on. I mean, do you feel like that's your strength, you and your wife, Kat?
Yeah, it is our strength.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a big part of what you guys do. And I understand you pass some of that off to your kids as well. Tell us about James and your daughter.
Yeah, my son is James, and he's 17 years old. At age 5, he was juggling 3 balls. By age 8, he was juggling 5 balls. By age 10, he was juggling 3 flaming torches and picking pockets. He's appeared on ABC.
So remind me never to meet your son. I definitely value my wallet.
We give everything back.
You said he's been on ABC. Is that the last thing you said?
ABC, Kids Say the Darndest Things with Tiffany Haddish, Access Daily with Penn and Teller, and even the Netflix feature Me Time alongside Jimmy O Yang, Kevin Hart, and Mark Wahlberg. We didn't meet Jimmy O Yang.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Crazy.
Yeah, we're big fans of Jimmy.
Yeah. Well, we weren't in the same scene as him. But the same, if you go watch Me Time, just even if you put it on Netflix, I think we're going to get a residual check. It's not family friendly, so don't let your kids watch it because we're Asian and we're conservative. It's very raunchy, but go watch Me Time, put it on play, and let James collect a couple of more pennies. You got like a $60 residual check coming in.
Oh, wow.
You were showing us some video as well of James earlier, and he was performing in front of this giant audience. I mean, at age, 15, 16, something like that?
Yeah.
And their audience was like, 400 people, something? That's pretty amazing. I mean, that takes a lot of courage. And not a lot of Asian kids would do that.
Not a lot of Asian kids. They tend to be just so shy, right?
How did you get him to not be nervous, or I don't know, maybe he was nervous, but how do you get him to perform in front of so many people like that at that
Smaller
age?
Groups. He failed sometimes. Like I remember there was one show he got heckled. It was like by Pony AI. It was like Asian crowds are the worst sometimes too. Like they're like, I mean, like there's Asian and tech, and they have no social filter. So like if you mess up, like they're judging you too. We're highly judgmental, and he's this kid, and I threw him in the lake of fire. Like in terms of I threw him in this very high pressure situation, and like I think he got caught out. But the thing is, I was like, "Oh, you did good," and Mom's encouraging him and telling him what we could do to improve every time, because you're gonna fail, but make those failures very small, and then you just find modeling. You just find a mentor. And I would show him these books and DVDs and slowly show him. And he'd come to my shows and he'd see me do something, but he'd only like hand me props. And he'd do like 5 minutes of juggling. Then as he got better and better, he could kind of see himself doing it. And I'd be like, hey, are you ready to do this? You want to try this? Oh, can you do this for like the guy who hired us, or like 5 people or 10 people? And then those same tricks are the same tricks you end up doing on stage, or a version of them.
Yeah. Wow.
But I mean,
he
was heckled though. That to me just seems crazy for like.
It happens no matter what. Like there's always a guy.
I mean, I can see like a drunk comedian at a nightclub late night, but a kid magician, that seems just kind of crazy. And they're just like, come on, I saw that card. I mean, like,
well, here's the thing: you fooled them 5 times, and then they want to be like redeem their. They're like, oh,
they want to show they're smarter than you.
They want to show like,
guys.
Hey. So the thing is, you might get like 5 times fooling the guy, right? Yeah. And then there's this one time he catches you,
and he figures it out.
And then you forgot that you had 5 wins. Like it's kind of like a boxing match. You got 5 wins, and the guy's got like 1 win. But then as a kid, you're just like devastated that you even get caught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially as a kid, you don't have that mental toughness. So how's he taken to it? I mean, so how how's the Asian dad side of you, right? So are you cracking the whip and saying, "Hey, man, I want you to be a magician," or just letting him do what he wants to do?
I'm the world's best tiger dad, right?
Yeah, so you're like, you need to
because you
juggle
got him into magic?
7 clubs. Yeah, 7 bowling ball pins.
Yeah, I mean, like,
What do you mean by that? Tell us what you mean by that.
um, the question again?
Well, so I mean, just in terms of like what you mean by being the world's best tiger dad,
Yeah.
like because you're cracking the whip on him?
Or because you're letting him actually choose what he wants to do, which
I-
is exactly what you want him to do.
Yeah, by chance.
Best Asian tiger dad, meaning like he's been on television, he's can perform, make his own money. Like he's done a lot of things. Right now he's burnt out because he's 17 and he's been performing since he was age 5, and he didn't take a lot of breaks. Anytime there was opportunity, I would usually push him to perform. Sometimes he'd get a little, like I'd go to work and then he wouldn't show up all the time, but he's still been performing for the most part for many years. So
That's awesome. Good for him.
right now, I'm letting him focus, and he's a star student. He got perfects on PSAT and close to perfect on SAT.
Nice.
So
National
he
merit.
can be a doctor or a lawyer or whatever, or engineer if he wants to be. So he has both options. So he could be that guy, Asian Korean kid who's like going to the doctor, super buffed out, and like astronaut at the same time. You can't just like
One of those
narrow it
guys, yeah.
down. Yeah.
Well, so I was gonna so we'll wrap up this section of the podcast by asking you about that. So are you so it sounds like he's a super smart kid. Do you as a dad push him along and so he's 17 now and the daughter is 16, I think you said. Are you pushing them along saying, "Hey, these are the colleges I want you to apply to and I want you to do something big," or you're just like, "Hey, just, I know you're smart, you can choose your own adventure."
Or even not go to college and just start into your career. you
Yeah.
know?
I think that if he becomes a magician, he'll be stuck there. So like, I don't want him to also resent me because I've seen some forward initiative, but he hasn't been like seeking out magic tricks. So if you had that in your DNA as a magician, you would search out your mentors and you would search out, like when I say, "Hey, show up to Magic Castle Junior program," sometimes he's half there, like he doesn't see the gems. So I'm like, if he's going to be really good, he knows the tricks, but I don't know if he understands the DNA completely. So I'm going to let him do a little, and hopefully I can say, find investors or find a venue, do these things where I could do $50 a show, 50 people per show, make $2,500 for people coming to see me, do 2 in a day and make $5K each day I perform, and then hand that over to him. But I haven't figured that part out. I'm trying to craft that where people will drive from San Francisco to a venue. So I'm experimenting with ticketed shows, but being Asian, I'm very risk adverse. So I'm like, I don't like losing money because I've seen a lot of my other Caucasian friends or whatever four-wall a show and then lose their whole shirts doing it. And they don't tell you that. Like, the rent is like $20,000 in Vegas sometimes. And you're like, when you show up, you do the math and you see, is it this empty all the time?
Yeah. You need the tickets,
that's right.
right.
Yeah.
Right. Wow, right on, right on. Well, that's cool stuff, man. So Wayne, what do we got on the sound effect board?
All right.
Okay. We're going to move on to the next part of the podcast where we talk about your Asian side. How Asian are you? The Haru quiz portion is what we call it. Going to ask you some random questions about Asian Americans. And actually, I tweaked these questions to be all somehow magic related. So perfect for you. And then we'll see how you do. So I will ask you this first question about about an Asian American TV show that was on a while ago, Fresh Off the Boat. Do you remember that one?
Yes.
You do? Okay. Well, let's see if you watched it. True or false? So you got a 50-50 chance of getting this right. True or false? One of the kids in the Fresh Off the Boat show was actually a magician.
I'm guessing it was probably true.
It is true. Otherwise, why would I ask the question?
All right.
Which kid was the
Did you hear the
magician?
winner sound?
It was that Evan kid. It was that Evan kid. So he was the youngest kid.
Yeah.
Was
And
he
they
a
made-
real magician or just on the TV show?
on the TV show. So they
show.
had him do magic tricks and stuff. And unfortunately, I think they pretty much made fun of him because he was trying to be a magician when he was a
Yeah,
kid.
that would be the typical.
But I don't know. Maybe that was loosely based on Dan Chan. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wish.
All right, let's see. Okay, second question. This is I'm sure you know this one. You better know this one. Um, okay, this is kind of a dumb question, but how does you have to expose your secrets? How does the Chinese linking rings trick work?
Sorry, can't tell that. Even the simplest trick.
You can't tell that trick. That's the oldest trick in the book.
Although I have
That's
it
the
done
one
to
with the
poetry.
rings
You want me to do it to poetry for you guys later?
To poetry?
To
Yeah,
poetry.
To poetry?
How does that work?
I don't even know what that means.
Sure,
I
but
do
I'll
the
give you
routine to poetry.
yeah.
We'll give you a ding anyway.
You'll get a correct answer just for offering that out.
I thought it's funny because I was actually trying to think of some questions for you, and I was trying to look up because when I was a kid, actually when I was like 5 or 6 or 7, I used to buy magic tricks myself. I grew up in Iowa, and I would just go to the magic store and buy these magic tricks and stuff. So I was totally into it. But I remember they used to call a lot of tricks Chinese something. Do you remember that? There was like the Chinese box. There's like the finger trap. Everything was
Yeah.
Chinese. Like all the magic stuff was Chinese. Do you guys remember that?
I think I remember.
Is it to make
Didn't they
it
even call
unique?
there was like some Chinese sticks or something where the rope would get longer and it was just
Yep, Chinese
weighted.
sticks. Yep.
But they always
Yeah.
just call it Chinese because it's
Because
exotic.
Chinese
I don't
is
know.
magic, I guess. It's very magical.
When you don't understand something, it's magical, right?
That's
I
right.
guess so. I guess so.
Yeah.
All right. So the last question is open-ended. Name as many Asian American magicians as you can that we would know.
Oh, Jade.
Yeah.
She's a local one.
All
There
right.
is Lu
Well, we
Chen,
can't validate that. But,
Liu Chen. I remember Liu Chen.
oh, yeah.
Okay.
Cyril Takayama.
Takayama?
Nope.
The guy, grandma. He went viral on the buses, like in Japan, all the time.
Oh,
You
really?
don't recognize his
Oh,
face
wow.
and his videos, but you won't recognize his name. I just saw him at the Magic Castle, which you guys are both invited to, so I should get an extra ding for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
One thing,
Magic
Wick.
Castle. Yeah. And an invitation. Heck
You
yeah.
got one invitation, a VIP
We
one.
love to see magic.
I thought you were gonna. So what about some of those guys on America's Got Talent? Do you ever watch that show?
Eric Chen, Shin Lim.
Eric Chen. Yep.
Shin Lim? What do you
Lim.
think of those guys like Shin Lim
Yeah.
and stuff?
More power to them for
Yeah,
being
right.
Asian and making it in Vegas, right? Come
Right.
on.
Are they any
cool.
good, or are you like you guys suck?
Or
at
you,
it
yeah,
compared to
that's true. Do they?
My only complaint is we're watching a video screen of Shin Lim. He's
you? Because
great,
it's so far.
but the thing is, he's on a big screen, and I'm like, I'm paying $80 to sit in the back to watch what I could see on YouTube.
Oh, I see what you're
yeah.
saying. So when you go to his show, yeah, you can't
Because
really
he does
see
the
it.
close up. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So
like,
then you're just watching it on a video. I get, yeah, and then
yeah.
I was just gonna take my daughter there. Now I'm wondering, should I not? Oh, dang it.
Yeah.
Go support him, and then I'll tell you
I'm
one or
gonna
two of the
support
other
him though.
shows.
I mean, because he is Asian, and so
Yeah.
that is it's kind of the love and the support. So
Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna
got to
still
do
it.
that.
I'm still gonna do
Did
it.
Did you introduce yourself to him and say, "Hey, what's up, fellow Asian"? Like,
He knows
Yeah.
that so many. I actually have his old business card. Maybe I put that on eBay. Like I have literally, he has the crummiest old business card. But I see him at these magic competitions, and I'm like, dude, you're good. 20 years later, he's like, like
He's really
Yeah.
he's really rich now.
I don't know about Rich. He probably spends a lot.
Yeah.
yeah. Would you?
But
Is
yeah,
that,
he's
is
probably
that,
doing well.
is that a dream thing for you? Would you want to do something like that, or would you rather just do what you're doing here?
I'd rather be a big fish in this small pond in the Bay Area because competition is fierce in Vegas. But I would like to open up a magic club. Like if someone has a nice Victorian house or like a venue that's underutilized,
cool.
Maybe a restaurant, private room. I'd love to do pop-ups more often just to build up a close-up show. And then I want to source entertainment from like South Korea and other places because a lot of really good magic we don't see in the US. But at the conventions, I see him and I want to like say, hey, here's a 2-month or a half a year contract. Come to the US and rotate some guys that I really would enjoy spending time with and seeing.
Right on, man. Your next White Castle. That's awesome, man. It's always good to get to the next step. Well, cool. So it's been a total pleasure chatting with you, Dan. So the last thing we usually ask people is about you to. I'm sorry. The last thing we ask people is to get this life tip from you. So tell us your magical life tip that everybody can follow and make their lives better.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to give someone a like or a comment on social media in terms of encouragement, even a competitor. You want to build community and keep in touch. I was initially name dropping so many people, but 20 years into it, I started realizing, dude, I don't even have any of these guys on my phone. So I started doing tricks that required me to get their phone number, or just say, hey, would you like an invitation to the Magic Castle? Just quick, give me a text. And when someone says, oh, you can get in this exclusive club where there's celebrities there, people are like, yes, and they'll text you your phone number. I started doing that to everyone, not just celebrities, just to people that I want to build a relationship with. And when you click like on something, it doesn't take anything. And sometimes I'll even hire the guy who likes my post. It's just like that tipping point. Like, if they could be the most talented magician, but they could be a jerk or like selfish or something. I'm not gonna hire the guy because they are so standoffish. So a lot of times we think that this is a zero-sum game. If they get it, we can't get it. Oh, if Dan gets the magic show, I won't get it. Well, who knows? If they like Dan and you get to that level, in next year, they're going to want Hansel or Wayne or someone else that next year, because they don't want the same thing the next year. So you think, oh,
right,
it's worlds of secrets. In this world, if someone wants to do something, you can't hold them back. So don't worry about your competition. When you're running your race, you don't look over your shoulder. Just go to what you're going for. And I think with Asian mentality, my mom was always saying, oh, if they know your secret, well, give them a little bit of a taste. They're not going to replicate your whole formula, right, and you might get something back later from that encouragement. So my life tip is stay in contact, learn from my mistakes, which was all these people who were at the PayPal mafia. I didn't keep in contact with them, and I didn't encourage them. And now what do they do? They're all
a lot of billionaires
hundreds of millions of dollars. I'll run into them again, but they're like, oh, whatever. Oh, I'll tell them I worked with you at PayPal, and I didn't keep that relationship going. If I just click like on their post or said hi or drop them a hello or just offer them something of value early on, then you're on the inbox and you'll get people to, reciprocate.
I love it.
Absolutely.
I love it. So spread the love, but spread the likes, I guess. That's awesome. I think you're right too. The whole net worth thing is the most important thing to a lot of people's success. So I want to wrap this up by saying that, before we started this, I did go on your website, Dan, and I looked on some of your videos. They're super amazing. So for those people out there, I mean, it's one of those videos where, you're talking to some celebrity and then you do some magic trick and they're just like, oh my God, and they're like flipping out. Those are the best. I, as just like a spectator, I love watching those guys flip out. I'm sure as the performer, it's even much better for you. But tell the people out there how they can contact you if they want to book you for something.
Yeah, my website's danchanmagic.com or millionairesmentalist.com. You can find me on social media. Other than that, just click like on some of my YouTube videos and some of my Instagram posts.
Right. Hopefully next time you'll be the billionaire mentalist and perhaps the trillionaire mentalist.
That's right.
Rhymes and alliteration are hypnotic. I used to go by Dan Chan, the Magic Man, then Dan Chan, Master Magician, which wasn't as cool, and then Business Insider called me the Magician to Billionaires, and there's only so many billionaires out there, and I wanted to work a little bit more, so I just said, Millionaires Mentalist sounds cooler than Billionaires Magician.
Very smart. Very smart.
There you go.
A bigger pool of audience, I guess. Well, awesome, Dan. It's been great chatting with you today. Really appreciate you having on, man. Congrats on all your success and everything you've done.
Yeah, congrats. Thanks.
We are sponsored by none other than the Coder School, a company that teaches kids how to code with over 70 locations all around the country. So if you're interested in getting kids to code, head online and check us out. Learn to code, change the world. Thanks for listening.